Welcome to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Now here along with Dr. Bonati, your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for tuning in to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by executive producer of the program, Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here as always.
And as well, our senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
I feel like there should be trumpets or something when you announce the senior fellow. Senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
You know, I thought about that. When folks tune into business news, folks I went to high school with or college, they'll say, wow, he's a senior fellow.
Look at how far this guy's come in life.
But
nowhere near as far.
But trumped only by
the man.
Dr. Alfred Bonati, world-renowned orthopedic surgeon and founder of the Bonati Spine Institute.
Hi.
Most humble man you'll ever meet.
He is. If you just passed him on the street, honestly, you might recognize him from the commercials, but he is one of the most humble individuals you will ever meet. And
that's not true.
You would have, Dr. Bonati, you would have no idea
what
this man did. He actually, I mean, all joking aside, sir, you changed spine surgery forever. There was invasive open back surgery that had high failure rates. And then you saw the problem with that and it bothered you. So you actually got out of back surgery and you did arthroscopic surgery in the knees and the shoulder, all those things. You paved the way in those areas. And then all of a sudden you had an epiphany. And you used that genius. I'm not calling him a genius, but using that intuitive intuition.
It's genius.
He set out and he formulated what's called the Bonati Spine procedures. And nobody else on this planet, other than the Bonati Spine Institute and Dr. Alfred Bonati, perform these procedures. And they're patented, and there's certain tools that he developed specifically that help people, and they resolve their problems. So with that said, coming up, we have Angel Beth, a model, singer, and writer that
Well,
suffers...
let me make a comment first. I cannot walk now with the big head that you gave me through that door.
Well,
we only speak the truth, my friend.
I think a time or two, but you know what? The patients speak for themselves. So with that said, we have this lady, Angel Beth, and she's going to be on talking about a rare mitochondrial disease called cytochrome C oxidase.
I don't even know how to pronounce
Something
it.
like that. Partial deficiency.
It's an extremely rare disease.
Yes.
She's actually a local girl who reached out to me via email, aspiring singer and model, very pretty girl, but lives in constant pain. And
unbelievable story.
It's pretty crazy.
We wanted to bring it to everyone's attention so they're aware of this disease. And, well, up first...
In today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
Well, we have Joel Soloway on the phone, and he's calling in from Cleveland, Ohio. So thank you for joining us, sir.
Oh, my pleasure.
Now, how many years did you suffer in pain? I think you said like a handful, like 5 years you were kind of... And by pain, why don't you describe what it is you felt so the listeners and viewers know, and kind of that process to finding the Bonati Spine Institute? Did you seek out other doctors' opinions, treatment, that sort of thing?
Well, you know, I suffered cervical pain for a good 5 years prior to coming down to Bonati Institute.
Okay.
And I had mentioned to you in a previous conversation that I had been an enduro motorcycle rider as a hobby for years and years, and fell off probably way too many times. And I think a combination of that process and just spinal stenosis from a degenerative point of view led me to the Bonati Institute, when in fact, after following a treatment of, you know, conventional protocols, including physical therapy, chiropractic care, massage therapy, and then finally going to a large medical center and having an MRI where they told me I needed open back surgery, you know, spinal surgery and fusion immediately. That's when I realized that there had to be alternative approaches. And I did so because of the fear factor of knowing that someone is going to go into your spine, but into your cervical area, which is so close to your brain. It made it apparent that I needed to look for an alternative resource, and that is what I found.
So, Joel, when you started seeking out that alternative treatment, How did you find the Bonati Institute?
You know, I'm one of those people who do, due diligence. And, I looked and did research on surgeons who were performing minimally invasive procedures, or those where, in specifically where hardware infusion was not an option. And, I had known a number of people who had cervical spine surgery and had hardware put into their necks and had such restricted motion. And I'm a guy, I'm very active, I'm involved in sports and yoga and everything, and the thought of not being able to, turn my neck or look up or look down was frightening, to say the least.
Joel, let me ask you something. What is your background? Don't you have some sort of medical background as well?
Well, I was, I was a paramedic, a trauma medic for 11 years here in the Cleveland area. It was sort of a hobby. It wasn't my career, but it was a passion. So I knew a lot, or knew too little about too much.
And Joel, didn't you have a friend who was actually a chief orthopedic surgeon, and he sort of said that you needed one of those kind of fusion procedures, and you didn't really like that option?
Yeah, I did. A friend of mine is chief of orthopedic surgery and trauma up in the Cleveland area, and after the MRI, he had said to me that, you really need to take care of this. And then the first comment I said was, God, am I in danger? Is there paralysis? And, jokingly he said, well, if I were you, I'd just wear a helmet. And that kind of set the stage for me to look elsewhere. But, yeah, at that point I went in, and he had referred me to a surgeon who said that I needed surgery, and that was on a Monday. And he says, well, I can do it on a Wednesday. And I think by Tuesday I thought Wednesday was not an option.
Got it.
So once you found the Bonati Spine Institute, you decided, what made you decide to come down here? What were you told? Did you send your MRIs? Did you do a phone consultation? Did you come down here and visit?
I did all of the above.
Okay.
I talked with everybody down there. I explained, what I was looking for. Could they do it? And most importantly, the safety. Mm-hmm. The fact that someone is going to operate on your spine, and specifically cervical spine surgery, is frightening, to say the least. Being so the proximity to the brain and everything. So, after doing again due diligence and looking at the surgeons, looking at Dr. Bonati's practice, and looking at the innovations in medical technology, it made sense for me to come to Florida.
Did it make things easier for you knowing that you'd be awake through the procedure? Not awake where it's going to be a scary thing, but conscious IV sedation, where you're sedated, but you do have that interaction with the surgeon during surgery.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about it. Because if you think about it, a surgeon going in when you're under general anesthesia is, going in blindly, in the sense that there's no verbal response from a patient, whether or not they have relieved the nerve pressure. And this way we could, literally follow the root cause of the pain and solve it.
Joel, those folks listening on the radio and watching all across the country on the television program know about the fact that not only do we have conscious IV sedation for the patients, but that you can watch the procedure. Did you watch?
I did. I'm in the media. I do large scale event production and holographic staging. So the idea of looking down and seeing a high definition monitor and and something that was so clear and vivid, when I could actually look, there were times when I was resting very comfortably, made it extremely interesting, and actually took your mind off of realizing what was going on the other side of your neck. Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a surreal experience, I can imagine, seeing, it's almost like you're watching a program
right.
on surgery.
It was exactly that. You're lying there and you're watching something, and, you're watching them do, taking ligaments and bone spurs and clearing the nerve root, and you realize, wait a minute, that's me.
And it didn't hurt at all.
And it didn't hurt at all.
Let me ask you one thing. The pain that you had been feeling that prompted you to seek treatment, was that numbness? Was it a shooting pain? Can you just quickly summarize that so people listening, if they're feeling that same sort of pain?
Oh, absolutely. It was incredibly uncomfortable. I had a lot of pain that radiated from my traps down through my left arm. I had tingling in my fingers, a general achiness that was just really 24/7.
Got it.
Wow.
And, you know, it made life very uncomfortable on a daily basis just to perform your daily activities.
And Joel, did you feel immediate relief during the procedure? Because we hear a lot of times, and I've even seen it in person in the OR, of people, you know, immediately, whatever physician, if it's not Dr. Bonati, is working on them, they say, you know, stand up or, you know, get up on the table on all fours, and they think incredulously, I can't do that, and then they do that. Did you have a similar experience where you felt immediate relief?
I did feel relief. It's a little different, you know, in terms of the cervical spine surgery. You're pretty well positioned where movement is so restricted.
Yeah.
I can tell you that when the procedure was over and I was just moved on to the gurney, I could feel a complete difference in the threshold of pain, which had been diminished.
And how are you feeling now?
You know, I feel really good. I mean, you know, I've had 3 procedures down there. I had 2 in 2010 and the third one in 2012. You know, there are still issues, you know, on the right side, which at some point should be addressed. But you know, when you're just doing the various levels and you're working on those, you can feel the pain associated with those levels eliminated immediately. So, you know, I feel really good.
The side that you had done was the left, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So different issues, which of course you should address, and you definitely know where we are, Doctor.
Right. I'm always invited.
Yes, but I am so glad that you're feeling a lot of relief in those particular areas you came to see us for.
Well, I did, and you know, one last point, and I mentioned this again to you, Kimberly, was the fact that being involved so much in yoga and you do so many different kinds of moves, we do a lot of inversions, and I mentioned that, you know, the one inversion that I do is standing on my head.
Did you
which,
ever think?
you know, you have to have a lot of confidence in your surgeons and the Bonati Institute to know that after spinal surgery, cervical spine surgery, you can still stand on your head.
Amazing. All right, Joel.
Be careful, but I mean, it's certainly
We'll do that.
amazing.
No, you're scaring me.
And that's Dr. Bonati.
Yeah. I'll be careful.
All right,
Okay, Joe.
Continued good health.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You keep in touch.
Take it easy.
Aw.
Good stuff.
Well, you know, again, another success story from the Bonati Spine Institute. If you or someone you know is suffering with pain, feel free to reach out at 855-267-0483 or Bonati.com. They can definitely provide you with the relief that you're needing. Coming up after the break, you'll hear more from American Medicine Today on News Radio 970 WFLA.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years, and it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results, no pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone, nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now, I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works.
I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonatti Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonatti spine procedures, Alfred Bonatti, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonatti and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
I am Kimberly Bermel, and you are listening and watching American Medicine Today on News Radio 970 WFLA. I'm here with Ethan Euchre and Jeff Wagstaff.
Good afternoon.
Senior Fellow. And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonatti of the Bonatti Spine Institute. With that being said...
Well, wait a minute. Hello.
Hello.
I kind of like how Kimberly said, Senior Fellow. That was like...
What's that so
hot,
sexy?
She like kittened it up for you a little bit.
This is what
Senior
happens
fellow.
when I'm in a room with 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my God, this time John
4
got
boys.
included. That's it.
4 men.
Yep.
Yes. I'm a lucky girl.
Don't lie. It is fun to be here, though.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun, especially behind the scenes. What we do want to talk about, because Dr. Bonatti has really paved the way and changed spine surgery forever. He deviated from the typical traditional open back surgery and the high failure rates. We've quoted these statistics, that's what I'm looking for. We've quoted them for fusions, and one fusion has a failure rate of like 65%. And if you have 2 or 3, that raises to like 75 to 85% failure.
It blows my mind that someone would even have one of those
Yes,
procedures done
yes.
with the, see, now I'm running out of words,
I
too.
know.
If someone
But-
was in Vegas, they wouldn't bet those odds.
They absolutely
Exactly.
would.
They will get on the table and bet with their own health.
Exactly. And when you're talking about your spine, you don't want to take chances. Well, Dr. Bonatti, and good analogy there, Jeff.
He was waiting
Call
for
me
that.
the
But it's
Senior
true.
Fellow.
Indeed.
He spent a lot of time in is it the think tank or the stink tank?
Knowing Jeff, if people were in the room with him,
I'll be here all week.
it's the latter.
I love it.
Anyway,
Glad Kirk Knell's not here.
but seriously, he developed his own patented tools and procedures to bring relief to the masses. And a recent 7.5-year survey reflects a 98.75% success. And it's not just Dr. Bonatti or the Institute claiming we did the surgeries. It is patient-reported success. What better odds can you find?
That's nearing perfection right there.
And really, nothing in this world is 100%, but that's pretty darn close. With that being said, Dr. Bonatti, I find it fascinating. Your whole life story is amazing, but truly, how did you come up with the Bonatti spine procedures and then the instrumentation? It's a great story. I want him to tell you. So, Dr. Bonatti, take it away.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
And for those people who are listening or watching at home,
He's very
the
serious.
entire Bonatti procedure is done minimally invasive through an opening not much larger than a dime. So what he is doing is very, very small manipulations, but has incredible results.
Small movements. You would not believe it. I've watched it a multitude of times. I invited you, Ethan,
I've seen
and
it.
you, Jeff,
Unbelievable.
into the
Absolutely.
OR. And time after time, I am absolutely amazed when I look at it. But truly, Dr. Bonatti, explain that process and then talk about how you invented the tool. It's such a fun story.
Why you exclude John?
Because people can't see John. He's standing over there off camera.
Or do you want us to summarize
Dr.
this?
Bonatti not answering the question only speaks to how humble he is.
Right, he doesn't want to talk about himself.
And week after week,
I think he just doesn't want to give away his secrets.
But when our patients, when the Bonati Spine, I say our patients like I'm part of the institute, but
you're a senior fellow, not a surgeon.
When Dr. Bonati's patients are on this program and they tell us week after week of the incredible results that they receive, what people don't see is Dr. Bonati is incredibly humble, and it almost makes him uncomfortable when he receives that praise. So I realize we're putting him on the spot.
And he doesn't like it.
But all of us who have watched him perform
amazing
the Bonati procedure, the only analogy that I can use when I describe it to friends and family is Dr. Bonati is truly a rock star in that surgical suite. When I watched one of the procedures, the gentleman that was on the table, Dr. Bonati had finished what he was doing, and he told the man, he said, "Now I want to get you up off the table, and I want you to bring your knee up to your chest." Now he was an older gentleman, and he was under anesthesia. And, "I can't do that, Dr. Bonati." Dr. Bonati said, "You can now. Try for me." When he got up and he moved, he was completely pain-free. Dr. Bonati looked at everybody and says, "We're done here. Let's close." And it's just like
that's the equivalent of the rock star dropping the mic.
Dropping the mic and walking off the stage.
I'm out.
It's just incredible to watch his genius.
But the thing is, he is not one to pat himself on the back, and really it's pretty much to his detriment. And that's something that I like to focus on these shows, because he has really paved the path. There are others out there, what we call imitators. To say competition, but the imitators, and they do not have those same results. And you only get Bonati at Bonati. With that being said, Dr. Bonati, why don't you just give some people some insight as to that? Really, how did you develop that tool?
I think you guys talk enough. Why I need to talk?
Because you paved the path that other people are riding on coattails, pretending to do what you do, and they don't have it.
I'm going to tell you one thing, that how I came with the idea to develop the tubes.
Perfect.
I was looking for a long time. Remember, I did open surgery on the spine before, and I was very discontent with. And I didn't really like the results. I didn't like the results so much that I told my secretary, "You do not receive any patient with back pains because I cannot help them." Well, the point is that my heart was always in the back, because I saw so many problems associated with, and so many people suffering with it. So one day I was in my car, and I start, remember we're talking about 1980s or something like that. Then I start the car, in the antenna. Remember those are antennas that were in the
telescopic,
the telescopic antennas. Well, that antenna came out, and I look and I say, "Oh, this can be applicable to enter in the specific area of the spine." At that time, I didn't have enough knowledge, but how to do it. Then I was fortunate to go to a conference in Switzerland, and was a physician there who suddenly said, "We are going to introduce today a procedure that is new," and he said, we will describe this as a discogram. And then what he did is he said, to be able to enter the disc, you need to go 7 centimeters to the side, and then put the needle there, and put the needle inside the disc, and then put the dye, and you can see the disc. When he presented that one, I went, I have the idea of the tool, but I have now how to get inside. And remember, at that time, we're talking about going inside of the disc. When you go inside of the disc, only 17% of the people suffer of that problem there. But I didn't have either how to correct the problem inside. Now I was able, number one, to use the tools, and number two, to see how I am going to go there. But then I was thinking, what I can use to be able to reach that area. With those things, you're talking about months and months of difference between one idea and the other one. Then the next thing was I was in the orthopedic convention one time in New Orleans, and I was looking at the new advances that were there, and then I saw a group that they were showing a laser that was being used to remove some type of skin problems. And in the process, I look and I say, well, I have the tool, I have had the how to go inside. Now I have the other tool that I need to reduce the material that is around the disc. That's how we develop. And we develop one thing at a time.
But you also developed other tools, because the laser isn't the only tool that you use. It's one of many.
Well, we use the laser in the beginning.
Correct.
And that was the beginning of the whole concept.
Yes.
And when we did that, that was not any patent or any type of approval for the use of the laser.
And it was you that got, what was it, the FDA approval?
Yeah.
For use on the human spine?
Yeah. Well, that's how this thing started. And I was lucky enough that God helped me to bring results that every time they were more and more accurate, and people start to have some of the pain disappear. So then I came out from the disc side, and I went to the canal side, and in that way I was able to address not only the stenosis and the different problems. And then we developed that with more experience, we developed more things.
You know what I really want to get into sometime, and we're up against a break, but
Sure.
I'd really like to talk about, and if it's not interesting, we'll talk about it off the air, but the whole patent process has always fascinated me, because I'm a guy that has I'm a dreamer, but my heart's of gold. But no, I have these ideas. And I think, how the heck would you even go about patenting something?
We have to, because it's an interesting process. And he's such a busy doctor as it is. His life is jam-packed. And all of a sudden, he did these patents within that. So he had that whole development stage. Absolutely unbelievable. With that said, if you or someone you know is suffering with neck, back, sciatic pain, headaches, something called RSD, reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute, because there is true help available, true resolve of your pain. That's at Bonati.com or 855-267-0483. Coming up next, we have Angel Beth, who has a rare,
very rare
mitochondrial disease. Very serious stuff. It's called chitochrome C oxidase partial deficiency, something that not a lot of people know of, but it's very important. Make sure you tune in. We'll have more about that coming up after the break. You're listening to News Radio 970 WFLA.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
Thanks for tuning in to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bermel, joined by Ethan Euchre, our executive producer. We have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute, and in studio with us, we have Angel Beth. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
She is a local model, singer, and writer who suffers from a rare mitochondrial disease called cytochrome C oxidase partial deficiency.
That's quite a mouthful.
It is.
And it's quite a debilitating disease.
Oh.
And anybody watching the streaming right now, taking a look at Angel Beth, you would think,
She's
what's wrong with
beautiful.
this girl? She's
Exactly.
a beautiful young girl. She's actually going to do a bikini shoot after this. So tell us a little bit about this very rare disease.
Well, for me, the first way that it started was as a little girl, I was having vocal cord dysfunction episodes and just fevers for no reason. And vocal cord dysfunction, it kind of resembles asthma, like attack, like a severe asthma attack, except that rather than being in your lungs, it's in your vocal folds. Your vocal folds will actually close up and paralyze themselves closed. It's also called vocal cord paralysis. And so it'll block your airway and you can't breathe. I've had this since I was so little that when I was finally diagnosed in my early 20s, they said that I was the only patient that they had that didn't need any kind of treatment because I've learned over the years how to manage it on my own.
And how do you manage it on your own? I mean, if your vocal cords, paralyze or swell up where you can't breathe, how the heck do you control that yourself?
Well, you'll find it funny probably, but when I was in school, if I got an episode, I would just throw a note at the teacher saying, be right back, or go into the bathroom or something. And I would get out of the room as quickly as possible, and I would run and hide somewhere, like a bathroom farthest from the classroom that I was in, so that I could have some privacy, because I've learned that I need to focus, and I can't do that if people are standing ahead of me.
What's wrong with you? That
Freaking
kind of
out,
thing.
yeah,
Right.
like, oh my gosh, she can't breathe, what do we do? You know.
And so were your teachers aware of your condition and they were
No.
cool with you? So they didn't know either?
No, I kept it to myself.
Wow.
And it was just something that I was plagued with, but I had always dealt with it since forever, since I could remember. My mother said I was a toddler in the car seat in the back, and I would stop breathing and have these like episodes, and she would mention them to the pediatrician, and he didn't know what they were, and they didn't sound like anything familiar, so they just kind of passed my mom off as, a crazy over.
When you stop breathing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that you can fake.
Now,
Right.
I'm reading here in the notes, Angel, and it talked about you going through an exploratory surgery and your lungs collapsed.
Yes.
You have the issues with fainting, which you just said, chest pain, frequent visits to the ER, trouble with vision, high heart rate. I mean, what is that like for you? I mean, you're fully functional from what we can see. A
Vibrant
beautiful
young
girl,
lady.
model, singer, writer. How are you able to do that?
Well, like I said, I've never had a day where I didn't have this stuff kind of going on. So for me, I don't know any differently.
It's normal. Yeah.
But also, that you mentioned the exploratory surgery I had. And I use that example a lot to kind of explain how it is that I have the outlook I have. I went in for an exploratory surgery to figure out why I was having trouble walking. Because I was 19 years old, and all of a sudden, someone who was in dance and ballet, and I did pointe, and I did multiple shows. You know, I was Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, and Maria, Nutcracker. I did all these things.
So, not just to pause for a second. At this point in your story, at 19 years old, they didn't know that you had this mitochondrial disease?
Correct.
Oh, wow. Okay, so resume. How did they find out? I mean, that seems like if it's so rare.
They didn't find out then.
Okay.
I had gone from doctor to doctor. No one could figure out what was wrong. I went for my normal GYN girl, you know, doctor visit, and the doctor said, "I think I know what's wrong with you. I think it's endometriosis, which is, you know, another it's a horrible disease that a lot of women are plagued with." So he was thinking that I had that, and he could go in and do an exploratory surgery. His thought was that these tissues that's growing out of place was pushing on a nerve, which was running down my leg, causing me to have problems with my walking. That was what he was thinking. So he did an exploratory surgery, and in the middle of the surgery, both my lungs simultaneously collapsed completely.
Wow.
So I was in ICU for a long time, you know, as you can imagine, with chest tubes in, and I wasn't recovering, and I was having hypoxic brain damage from not getting enough oxygen to my brain. And this is the part of the story that matters. Every day I woke up in ICU, my thought, and when I could whisper to the nurse, was, am I in recovery yet? You know, am I in recovery yet? At no point, no matter how much pain I was in, and to describe the pain, I would literally be the top of my head and the tip of my toes would be the only thing touching the bed, like it's arched in so much pain. It's crushing.
That's unbelievable.
It was horrible. It was horrible pain.
And you had that hopeful outlook.
Yeah, I
that
never
fighter
thought I
attitude.
wasn't going to get out of there. It was just, is today the day that I'm going to be out of here? Is today the day I'm going to be out of here? And that's kind of always been how I've lived my life, you know? Okay, I'm in pain right now. I can't speak. All I can do is scream. If I get any words out at all, it's please stop. You know, I'm in so much pain. But my thought isn't kill me.
Yeah.
My thought is, when is this going to end? You know, I'm waiting for it to stop. You know, please, you know, make this shorter than yesterday, and those kinds of things.
And so you've obviously lived with this condition for a long time, or a while at least, your entire life, I would say. What is your day-to-day life like? And I mean, what's the prognosis? There's nothing that can be done? Like, what are they doing to help this condition for you?
What's interesting, when I got diagnosed, finally, was only about a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, and there's a reason for that, and mainly it was because I got married straight out of high school, and my husband, he didn't feel strongly about doctors. He didn't want me going or seeing them, so he kept me from my appointments. And like with both of my pregnancies, I couldn't see. I lost my vision. I was fainting a lot. I was having a lot of heart problems. And so I didn't go. And then when we did divorce, and
Side note, you have children?
I do.
And are they perfectly healthy? Do they have your disorder?
I have 2 little boys. They are 9 and 7, joys of my life. I love them.
Yeah.
They're amazing. My 9-year-old has celiac disease, which is not related to my condition. It just happens to be.
Okay.
And my 7-year-old has Chiari malformation, but it's only type 1, and we don't think it's affecting him. It was just kind of found accidentally. Both appear healthy.
That's great.
Good.
Yeah, so we have our fingers crossed that nothing, you know, because it's passed down by the mother, and it is genetic. So hopefully it hasn't affected them, but we don't know at this time.
Right, but 2 beautiful babies in addition to all those other things.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, is it going to affect your life long
you had
term?
asked.
Yeah, what is the prognosis?
When he sat with me to give me my diagnosis, my doctor appointment was almost 4 hours long, and that was just so that I could understand what he was saying. He said that he can't give me a prognosis because I shouldn't be here. And he does know people with mitochondrial disease that are older than me. They may not necessarily have what I have, but I'm a fighter. So what's their what's there to think other than that I'm going to be here just as long as anyone else, you know? But he can't say. It's just a matter of how long my systems can hold out.
And how many people have this illness?
I wish I could tell you. I don't know the statistics, but I can tell you that it's probably a little bit more common than we would think. My particular strand is a little more rare than the other ones, you know, but there's numerous types of mitochondrial disease out there. And basically the thing with mitochondrial disease is that it affects at least 3 organ systems. So if it's not affecting 3 different organ systems, then you know mitochondrial disease won't be considered because that's the primary thing for it.
And what's interesting to me, Kimberly, is that, you know, in the beginning of her life, she had these paralyzed vocal cords, would stop breathing, and now you're a singer?
Yeah, I was actually a singer then, too.
Yeah.
And if I don't have an episode while I'm singing, I'm fine. You know, as you hear me speaking, I'm speaking fine.
Has it ever happened while you're doing a show or prior to a show or anything like that?
Not yet.
Of course, I had to bring that up.
Right.
It's okay. Knock on wood. But no, it hasn't.
Do they say anything like nerves trigger it?
No, well, for me, with the vocal cord dysfunction, the things that trigger it are like things that would trigger asthma. You know, smoke. You know, I have a central tremor, so my hands shake.
Yes.
If I'm very, very stressed, then that tremor isn't just in my hands; it's in my whole body, which would include my vocal cords. So if my vocal cords are tremoring already, they'll get aggravated and sometimes seize closed. So, you know, being upset can cause it. Getting sick with a cold and having like a postnasal drip, having something running down my throat and bothering the vocal cords can cause it. Lots of things.
Now, why don't you explain to us just quickly how you're kind of being treated, so to speak?
I take about 40 different pills a day, 3 different times a day, and then it's caused lots of ulcers, so then I'm on another medication 4 times a day to try to help with the ulcers that the medicine has caused.
Angel, let me interrupt you one second. How did they diagnose this? How they come with the diagnosis?
They do muscle biopsies, blood tests, and
Yeah, but how they suspect this? What brought this thing?
History and symptoms. Yes, your history and symptoms put together will have them suspected, and then they can confirm it with blood tests and muscle biopsies, usually of your thigh.
Is a group of physicians or specialists or somebody who developed this type of studies and put the thing together, because this is very uncommon.
It is very uncommon. It would be a pediatric geneticist.
Okay.
That's who you would need to see, and there's only a few that are familiar. You know, you could find a pediatric geneticist, and they still may not be familiar with it. So you'd have to find somebody that is familiar with mitochondrial disease.
It's important that you give a little information about this, because probably there are some mothers in the audience right now that they are going and scratching their heads and thinking, my God, this is what my daughter or my son has. So that's why I'm pushing you a little bit to tell me about the diagnosis.
Definitely. I mean, you have a baby born and its liver is failing and it's having congestive heart failure and it's having like GI issues where it won't eat, you know, then that's 3 organ systems right there. Mitochondrial disease should be considered.
Neuropathic pain too. Just quickly, Angel, what is your age?
I'm 33.
33 years, and you were just diagnosed a year ago.
Yeah.
So 32 years people suffer with this.
Let me continue with my questions a little bit. Tell me the doctors that they did this. Who are the doctors that they diagnose you? Where they are located, and how to probably get in touch with them, because we need to get to some help in case somebody's listening to this conversation and goes, wow. How I get there, or who I can ask for help.
Right. My physician is Anthony Perzik. He is a geneticist, pediatric geneticist, who sees me because my case is special, but he's with multi-specialty clinic at UF in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, continued good health. I mean,
Thank you.
Keep us updated too, you know.
I mean, not continued good health, but you're a fighter. And
Her
I
outlook on
applaud
life
you.
is-
I applaud
It's
you.
fantastic.
Thank
So-
you.
For that.
And Angel Beth, do you have maybe a website, Facebook page, anything like that? I know you're a model, a singer, anything where people can reach out and check you out, maybe send you some words of good praise?
Yes.
I do. I have a Facebook page, and it's Angel Beth, and it's public, so it should be easy to find.
Awesome. Okay.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for stopping by the studio. And,
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Angel.
keep us updated on your condition, okay?
I will.
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, you are listening to American Medicine Today on News Radio 970 WFLA. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now, I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brummel.
You're listening and watching American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Brummel, joined by Ethan Euchre and our senior fellow Jeff Wagstaff.
Good afternoon.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. Alfred Bonati. So just a couple exciting things before I toss it to you, because I know you're raring to go. For those of you that have a Twitter account.
He looks pretty calm to me.
Really?
See what happens when you're a part of a boys' club and then you're the only female?
Yes.
We gang up on you.
She's like our
Yeah,
little
but I
sister.
love it. I'm surrounded by 3 wonderful gentlemen.
Oh,
so on
so
that
sweet.
note,
Oh,
if
my
you have a Twitter
God.
account, you can tweet.
What happened
at-
with John?
And John,
For those listening and or watching, John's our behind the
streaming,
scenes.
how you're seeing us, that's John.
That's John.
You wouldn't be
over here.
seeing us if John.
So will
wasn't
you
here.
repeat your
4.
statement, please?
I have 4 lovely gentlemen
Okay.
There
that
you
surround me. I am a lucky girl. Anyway, on that note, for those of you that have Twitter accounts, make sure you tweet at Dr. Bonati or hashtag American Medicine Today. Good stuff. If you're local to the Tampa Bay area of Florida, tune in to ABC WFTS Channel 28 Saturdays at 7:30. Otherwise, Fox Business, you can check us out on both Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays at 5, Sundays at 5:30. You can watch our TV show and our radio program. And on that note, Dr. Bonati, you are raring to go. Why don't you tell us?
Let's look at what's new in medicine today, featuring Alfred Bonati, MD.
There you go.
All you, Doc.
Tell you what?
What?
What's new in American medicine today? Or I can continue to.
Wouldn't it be funny if we threw it to him one time and he's like, "There's nothing new in medicine today."
I have absolutely nothing to say.
He'll be like, "All right, good talk."
You know, on a serious note, though, if the path of this administration continues, it could be the end of innovation in medicine. That's something you've mentioned, Dr. Bonati.
Well, everything that is associated with Obama and his path of
destruction,
destroy medicine and other things. You need to understand that right now we have a problem when they said that the PhD people that he hired or he interviewed or he worked with to create part of this disaster in the Obamacare, they say that they are going to lower the cost of medicine by decreasing the amount of people going to emergency room because the emergency room is extremely expensive. So the theoretical type of a approach was people are not going to go to emergency room because they are going to have an insurance, and that is going to lower the cost of medicine. Well, good luck.
What's the reality?
The reality is that that is totally the opposite. Now that they have the
higher premiums, Obamacare.
Now they have the non-affordable care in their bags. Then they are flooding the emergency rooms, and around half of the physicians that they are in emergency room, they are absolutely appalled, thinking that the amount of patients that they are coming to emergency room, because it's more comfortable to go to emergency room. And why? Well, remember that this wonderful non-affordable care create a big gap. You have a little paper that tells you that you have insurance. But when you go to the doctor say, "I don't take this insurance."
It's useless.
And then it's a useless, bureaucratic, just political type of a scam. Well, the next thing that happens is this person now called the doctor's office, and the doctor said, "I don't take this insurance." What is the direction that they go? Emergency room. And the hospitals are being forced by law to receive these people. And because they have this unaffordable care type of insurance, then they bombard the emergency rooms, and the people who really needs health care, like an individual who has a fracture, an individual who has an accident, an individual who has a heart attack, a stroke, they're being put in the line of the people who's coming there with colds and aches in their noses.
Yeah, so if you get shot and you get rushed to the emergency room, you might have to wait in line because there's a bunch of people under Obamacare that their regular physician doesn't take or whatnot, and so you're crammed into an ER waiting, bleeding to death because of Obamacare. Little dramatic.
But how could that be true? Because the administration told us that this was going to lower health costs, Dr. Bonati.
Well, don't ask me, but it's not. It's not.
But we
and like
talked
everything
about
that the politicians do, they lie. They lie because what they want is your votes. Then they present themselves very nicely in television or in radio, and they talk how wonderful they are. But, you know, when you really remember when they said that Obama was such a brilliant person? Well,
I missed that one.
Well, they said I mean, practically,
Sorry.
they said that he was extremely intelligent, the whole thing. Well, he's an idiot. Because the real truth.
How do you really feel?
you need to understand that he had the opportunity of his life, the opportunity of his life to create not only a benefit for his race, but at the same time to lift the whole country to join both communities and create a country that will be not only wonderful, but at the same time there will be a brotherhood interaction.
Exactly.
When before this guy came to the presidency, the people was really one. They have a little problem with racial things and things like that, like everybody.
Right.
Several times the people look at me and say, "Hey, you blasted foreigner." Well, you know,
You're a citizen.
yeah, I never took it bad because they have the right to say that, but I have the right to answer to that also.
Exactly.
Okay, but these men divided the people,
Yes.
divided race, divided sex, divided business, and then the next thing that we have now is a situation that we have a horrible medical health care, and all these people who had health care before suddenly
Lost
now doesn't have health care, and I'm telling you, is unexplainable, the situation.
You know, when you talk about this, you're talking about Obamacare. We also, on a previous show, spoke about that it's not really covered, the prescriptions. Maybe some generic brands, but people weren't being able to afford their meds. They were off of them, and I think 125,000 people were dying because of that. So just
But Kimberly,
Horrible.
your point is really very, very important because, you know, they promise that the healthcare will bring these pharmaceutical products cheaper. What they really have, they immediately, the pharmaceutical companies, they lobby and they came totally out of that responsibility. They make the whole Obamacare statement about the medications. They disappear from the law.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's an issue that's going to continue on and on and on.
plague us for a while.
So at least Dr. Bernardi will have something to rage about each week. That's something to look forward to.
That's true.
That's it for us.
I don't know what I'm going to do when he leaves the government.
I'm sure the repercussions from everything are going to last quite some time.
Yeah.
Oh, at least I'm so happy that his Attorney General is gone.
And on that note, we're coming
We're out
up
of
on a
time.
break. It's actually a big break until next week. You're listening to American Medicine Today on News Radio 970 WFLA. Tune in again next week.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.